तो चल रहा है। हाँ
ಒಳ್ಳೇದಲ್ವಾ? ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ದಯಾಳನ್ ಸರ್. some problem.
Yes.
நல்லா இருக்கு சார்.
நல்லா இருக்கு. Sir, we are going to start the meeting by 2:40. Another 3 minutes are there. We want more participants to join. That's why we are waiting.
Yeah, good sir, good sir. 37 have already joined. Still people will join. Dayan sir, in 75th year celebration, we are giving 5 minutes slot to Dayan sir, 5 minutes to other COEs also.
Very good, sir. Thank you very much.
Vice chairman, no, ED ma'am requested me.
Okay.
Even the president told me to provide some slot. We'll give you some slot of about 10-15 minutes to all these COEs.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Our vice chairman also has accepted. I think Vignesh will definitely accept.
Yeah.
Sorry, otherwise you would have given even in Sorekan also.
Yeah, but I missed it, sir, because of
Yes.
Sir, another thing, sir.
Please.
SR chairman, sir. Sir, there are 2 books are available with the NCSD. New books.
Okay.
We want to publicize on that day.
Okay.
We will see. I will discuss separately. Okay. Right, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Now we will start the meeting. Good afternoon, fellow foundrymen. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you for this today's virtual meeting conducted by NCSD Chennai. You know very well that we are conducting this meeting regularly. This is the 7th time we are conducting, and all 4th Friday of every month we used to conduct this meeting between 2:30 and 4, or even 4:30 also, depending on the content. So today we invited a speaker who is well renowned in the industry of in and around Chennai, and he is none other than Mr. K. Suresh Babu, who is the product of Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering, Sri Perumbudur, 1997 batch. Basically, he is a mechanical engineer Later on, graduated as a MBA Quality Management from BITS Pilani, Rajasthan in 2020. This gentleman is having around 28 plus years of work experience in machine shop, third party auditing and foundry industry. His rich knowledge and hands-on experience in VDA 6.3, corporate quality, projects management, machine shop quality, iron foundry quality, casting buyer, trainer. So he is playing multiple role in the industry. Worked in Simpson & Co. ICRS certification body, BSI certification body, Madras Engineering Industries and SFL for a quite long time. Basically, he is a soft-natured person who will not antagonize with anyone. That is the best quality required for any quality person. Now, major certifications, what he has gained is lead auditor for ISO 9001, lead auditor for ISO 14001, lead auditor for ISO 45001, and also internal auditor IATF 16949. He is a Six Sigma Master Black Belt holder. And now I am leaving the floor to Mr. Suresh Babu K to the August audience. Thank you, Mr. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words. Good afternoon, team. I am Suresh Babu. Let me share my presentation. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Please visible. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. It will be a very short presentation. It is basically a one-day training program. I'm just trying to give you an overview of VDA QMC 6.3. To make it interesting, I have added some case studies as examples. Since it is a post-lunch session, I want to keep you also active. So let me go into it. So these are the broad areas we are going to cover here in this 45 minutes or 1 hour training program. Basics, implementation, case studies, few examples, evaluation, grading and downgrading, overall result. So this is how this VDA structure is built upon. So let us go one by one. Basics. This is called as the Red Book, VDA Red Book. Now this edition is VDA QMC 6 Part 3, 4th edition, released in January 2023. This is the latest edition. This program covers 3 phases basically. First is called as a product and production process development, product and production process implementation, series production. All these 3 combined together, initially it will be potential analysis. So this standard is basically getting popular for among automotive industries in the European market.
You are not audible. Yeah. Sir, you are not audible. You have to restart from the beginning.
Oh, 1 minute.
Dayalan sir, he is audible.
We can hear.
Yeah, we can clear very clearly. Suresh Babu
We can hear, sir.
same way.
Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Or else
now
it is
all
okay.
right. Okay.
Sir, it is audible, sir. Audible.
Okay, sir. Right. Okay. So some of the VDA terminologies which we use in this standard is 3 terminologies we need to remember. One is called the process element. So basically this VDA, the entire standard of VDA is divided into 7 process elements, P1 to P7. And there are sub-elements among each process elements, which is called as, for example, P6.1, P5.1, 5.2, etc. So each has some definitions. Then it is called as process step. Like in IATF, like we call as clause, subclause. This is called as process step is the micro level step in it. So let us understand in overview what is VDA 6.3. It is a process audit standard, basically. It is for evaluating the controls in the organization chain while developing a new product and also in series production. Basically, the objective of this standard is to ensure that to what extent the NC products are expected from your operations based on the audit findings. That's why it is called as potential NC products. So what are the possible NC products which you can expect from your current process control, as well as the risk associated with it. So risk in terms of VDA is called as anything which affects the customer is called as risk. So this is becoming mandatory to supply to European automotive industry, as I already said. So why VDA 6.3 is required? So see, there is basically there is an increased emphasis for identifying and assessing the risk and also managing it. VDA has several phases. First is called understanding the suppliers. Second is called how you are going to manage the change. Third one, how you are going to focus on customer requirements and how you are going to satisfy the customer. Let me go in detail in this. So this is a very important slide. What are the focus areas you're going to focus on VDA and what is its approach? For example, if you see the third column, star-based questions. The star-based questions are called as risk-based questions. So if you secure 10 out of 10 in each of these questions, automatically the risk to the customer is averted. That is what the standard guarantees. There are totally 18 questions out of 59 questions in total, which are star-based questions. In these 18 questions, if you are able to fulfill all the requirements in true spirit in the shop floor, straight away the risk to the customer is totally nullified. That's what it says. Let us go one by one. Before awarding a purchase order or a contract to a supplier, so first thing they do is called as potential analysis. Whenever an European customer comes for an audit, he comes with a potential analysis checklist which consists of 35 questions. This 35 questions is nothing but the questions, few questions from P2 to P7. So if we see the last column here, from P2 5 questions, P3 3 questions, P4 3 questions, all put together will be 35 questions, where the importance is given to the production phase, which is a very important phase, from where 17 questions out of 26 are picked out. So all these questions, the customer will do an audit initially to see that whether we are capable to supply a product to the European industry. So this is called as a potential analysis. This is generally done before awarding a contract. So once the contract is awarded, then the next phase comes as the development phase. This development phase has three categories. One is called as the project management, P2. Next is called as the planning of product and production process development, P3. Next is the implementation of product and production process development, which is P4. These three comprises of the development phase of the product which is awarded to the supplier. Once the development phase is through, then comes the mass production phase, which is called as a series production. Series production has three categories: supplier management, P5, production process analysis, P6, and customer service, P7. Here the very important phase is P6. Here we have 26 questions, out of which 8 questions are risk-based questions. If you secure or if you implement in true spirit all the requirements of these 8 questions, directly in mass production, we can ensure that NC products is not reaching the customer and customer is always happy about the delivery of the product. So I'm just going to focus out of these 18 questions. I'm just going to focus on these 8 questions alone. I'm going to list down and I'm going to take an example of 2 case studies and I'm going to explain you how it is done. So these are the risk areas in production process analysis. First is called as the development to series production handover. This is the first process element in this production process analysis out of the 8 questions, risk-based questions. This is nothing but NPD to mass production handover. So how it is done, how are the requirements fulfilled, is everything captured properly? All these requirements comes here. Next comes the change management, forum change. And the third one comes the special characteristics control. Whenever you have a special characteristics, how it is controlled, what are the frequency of check, how it is frequently monitored in the mass production. Then the non-conforming products, how it is being quarantined and kept aside. And whether the selection of the equipment is proper, suitable manufacturing equipment. Sixth one is IMTE, appropriate measuring and testing equipments. Whether you're using 110 tolerance, everything comes there. And seventh one is the cost analysis and the corrective action for effectiveness. And whether we are meeting the customer requirements upon delivery. Even though it sounds very similar, very familiar, the requirements are very stringent and the grading and the scoring is very, very tough. So please have a screenshot of this. We'll go by this classification for the 2 case studies. The scoring for each of the requirements given will be broadly as 10, 8, 6, 4 or 0. These are the points awarded for each questions. So, for example, if all the requirements are met, it is 10. If nothing is suitable, it is 0. It is a straightforward case. It is simple. Whereas if you don't have an SOP, or if you don't have it has a significant impact on the customer in the subsequent steps, then it falls under score 4. So you are meeting the requirements, but sometimes there is an impact still, then it comes under 6. Like you say minor NC, very stray case, then it comes under 8. Classification between 4 and 6 is little difficult, whereas others are quite easy. Let me tell you one case study. So I am taking a case study in P6, production process analysis, a star-based question, which is called as a risk-based question. So this P6.1.1, it's something like an IATF class number. They give a class number. Whenever it is indicated as star, it means it's a risk-based question. So if it is 3 digits, it is called as process step. P6 is process element. P6.1 is process sub-element. P6.1.1 star is process sub-element. Process step. Whenever you are doing in a foundry, this is one of the critical steps, NPD to production handover, how it is being done. So let us see what they are asking. I'm just giving few examples of the VDA check red book. P6.1 is nothing but process input. It says what goes into the process. The question in the red book is, has a project been handed over from development to series production? And a reliable start, is it guaranteed? These are the 2 categories of this questions which is asked. For this question, there will be a lot of sub-questions for which we need to seek answers in the shop floor. This is how it is done. So here the primary responsibility lies with NPD, first of all, and then with production and quality, basically. So project handover is a very important step, which due to some reasons or some external pressure, we sometimes miss out in foundries. This is a very critical step. If this is ensured very properly, then the mass production will be very satisfactory. I have taken one example. Project handover from development to series production for customer ABC. new core box to be done. To be done in the sense, for example, this is one audit finding, not done. Let us take it. So this is one of the audit findings. Project handover from development to series production for customer, one customer for a core box has not been done. What could be the rating for this? Any guess? Out of this 10.8640, there is nothing right or wrong. You can just try. I showed you a checklist, no? This checklist, an auditor is going and doing an audit for a NPD department. From a customer is coming and doing an audit. His score is like this. So he has a finding. Project handover from development to series production for a particular core box was not done. So naturally, the rating will be 0. So let us see one more example. So Mr. X customer plant receiving inspection signed PSW is available. Unresolved issues is all listed out. Overall rejection is so many percentage. If this is the case, the rating will be 10. So you can see the contradiction between the first one and the second one. So the second one, the entire department, the PSW is available. What are the unresolved issues? It is available. Overall rejection percentage at the time of handing over from NPD to mass production, it is clearly mentioned with a cutoff time for all the unresolved issues. Then the rating becomes 10 because with the known rejection percentage, we are handing it over to the mass production, and the NPD is committing to parallelly resolve the issues and bring down the rejections further. So this becomes rating 10. Whereas in the first case, the project was handed over without the new core box was not done. Okay, the rating is 0. Next one, PSW weight 2.59 kgs was sent on a particular date to the customer to be corrected. Average casting weight on 15 number sample was 2.6385 kgs. So in the audit, they have found that they have given a PSW weight to the customer initially, which was 2.59, which the customer representative who came for the audit found it wrong. So when measuring with 15 samples, he found it as 2.6385 kgs. So in this case, the rating will become 6. So whenever you do a PSW weight, it should be done for the 4th decimal, and it should be for 15 numbers, covering all cavities. So let me take one more example on change management. Again, here P6.1.5 is a number, which is a process state. Star indicates a risk-based question. Change management. So what goes into the process? So are the changes to the product or production process during series production tracked and documented? This is also very important. So whenever there is a change in the product or the production process, 4M, it has to be tracked, documented, and approved by the plant head, reviewed by the quality head and approved by the plant head. This has to happen. So this responsibility lies with quality, production, NPD, whoever is a user. They have to ensure that this happens so that we don't end up in surprises during dispatch to the customer. For example, I have taken a core shop. In the core shop, machining feedback and R&D validation to be carried out. So they have done some changes. So based on internal feedback, they have produced mass production. So this particular part as a machining also, they have not waited for the machining feedback, and R&D validation was also not done. So in this case, the auditor gives a rating as 4 because only partially it is completed. The remaining part, it has not been completed. I will take you through one more example. In general, so PPAP level 3 documents to be submitted. So we need to submit PPAP level 3 documents, but it was not submitted. An approved PSW required. So to the customer, PPAP level 3 documents was not given, and also approved PSW is not received. So they are given a lower level of PPAP to the customer, which the customer has not asked for. So the rating is naturally 0 because we are not meeting the customer asked PPAP requirements. For example, take a trimming process in a foundry. PFMEA to address potential failure mode for bend. So lot of failure modes have been addressed, but one of the failure modes for bend is not captured. They have forget to capture the failure mode for bend while trimming a casting. So the rating here will be 4 since some is missing. Next, take an example in melting. Procedure for change management to be modified. To be modified means it is not modified. Procedure for change management to not modified to add the change and risk analysis updation after changes. So straight away rating is 4 because the documentation change is not happened. So this way I have given you 2 examples of process steps. Let us see the implementation, how it is generally done in VDA. The implementation process is generally done. First, we have to prepare a turtle-based model, which is called as it is done by the process owner or the auditee. Suppose you have an VDA internal auditor is there, he wants to come to an audit to your department or a process. So you have to, as an auditee, you have to prepare a turtle-based model of your process and hand over to the auditor well in advance so that he can come prepared. For example, I will just show you an example. This is an example of a turtle-based model for casting. So here you can see in the left-hand side, it is P6.1. It is process input. On the right side, I have the expected output. So P6.6. So when I make a casting, it should meet the quality requirements and it should be produced as per the control plan. So for this, what is the personal resource I'm deploying? That becomes P6.3. And what are the process operations I carry out? That becomes P6.2. And my effectiveness monitoring becomes P6.5 and my material resources becomes P6.4. So as an auditee, you have to list down all the requirements under each sub-element. For example, if you take P6.2, I have listed down what are all is available at the shop floor. Process flow, control plan, work instructions, tool change procedure, tool life, gauge calibration, OKs. So these and all are available for the auditor to witness and grade the process. The similar fashion, what are the outputs I am monitoring? Performance indicators. So rejection level, CPK, OEE, MTTR, rework, customer complaints, these are the outputs we are monitoring. So in this way, we have to prepare a turtle diagram for each and every sub process. I have given you in broadly for a casting. If you take melting, for melting you have to prepare, for finishing you have to prepare, for molding. For any process you have to have the input output on this turtle diagram should be available. Once the turtle diagram is prepared by the auditee and shared with the auditor, the next step is the VDA auditor should prepare the potential risk from the turtle model. This is the responsibility of the VDA auditor, either the external auditor or the internal auditor who comes for the audit. He has to prepare the potential risk assessment from the turtle model. I will share one example of this. So I have taken for one body machining. I couldn't get the same thing. So based on the inputs received from the auditee, we have to determine what are the probable things which can go wrong. So wrong casting can be issued, wrong tools used, parts not meeting the quality requirements. So the auditor will prepare a pessimistic view of what and all can go wrong, so that along with the VDA checklist, this also he will cover it, so that he will ensure that whatever the auditee has committed, whether it is really implemented in true spirit or not. So he has to mention all the probable causes, what he needs to check in the shop floor. So for example, P6.3, skilled matrix, incompetent person, training is not adequate. So gauge out of calibration, P6.2, process parameters not matched, PP is not used, okay, not working. So he has to prepare all this and come before the audit. He has to do this desk work and come for the shop floor audit. So this is how the customer comes for the audit when he visits a supplier for a VDA audit. So next step is called as look for checklist. This checklist is basically based on the VDA Red Book. This checklist is generally advisable for the beginners. For me, I am practicing VDA for the last 3 to 4 years. So I will be using this checklist so that still I get a hold on the Red Book requirements thoroughly. This checklist will help me to ensure that I'm not missing out any points. This is nothing but going through the VDA requirements and preparing your own checklist. I will show you an example. For example, this is for the special characteristics, process flow. What should I look for? Whether all the requirements are mentioned, special characteristics is mentioned, special characteristics marked in control plan, special characteristics are monitored and documented properly, or any deviations and corrective actions properly recorded, special characteristics records available. So what is the duration or time taken for retrieving the records, and also whether customer requirements are met every time. So this is a short checklist I have made for this P6.2.3 special characteristics. So when I go to the shop floor, I will write in this empty space, look for, I'll just ask specific questions, see the evidence, and I will record everything here so that nothing is missed out. In the same fashion, we have it for each and everything. So for process inputs, each and every, this is purely based on the VDA 6.3 Red Book. The Red Book standard is simplified, and the way we know we are making it. For example, I showed you P6.4.1. I will take that also. 6.1.1 star, the first one. The case study I showed you. So whether the project is handed over to a series production, whether it is documented, whether it has a specific criteria or responsibilities clearly assigned, and people now acknowledge the responsibilities for that particular product. Any unresolved issues, is it being followed up with time frame, or necessary measures implemented on schedule, is signed PSW available before first production shipment. So all these has to be seen for a particular product when it is handed over to mass production, and also the risk associated with before starting the series production. So PFMA has to be thoroughly checked for implementation. So this is called as a look for checklist. This is nothing but a VDA Red Book. VDA Red Book, the auditor simplifies and makes it as a checklist for him to ensure that no points is being missed out while doing an audit in the shop floor. So this is called as a checklist. So once this checklist is prepared, the audit is being done in the shop floor by the customer or by the internal auditor, depending on the case it may be. And the findings are listed down. So first thing is called as evaluation based on questionnaire. So once customer comes for awarding a contract to us initially, the classification of his audit of his 35 questions in P1 potential analysis will be like this. If the yellow scoring is more than 12 points, we got yellow, or 1 red, then you become a barred supplier. Then he will not award the contract. If you have maximum 12 yellows and no reds, then you will be called as conditionally approved supplier. The contract will be awarded to us, provided you give the corrective action. For the corrective action, he will come for a separate audit for the development phase and separate audit for the series production phase, or a combined audit for development and series production phase, where he will witness the effectiveness of these points. So basically for VDA, it will be 3 level of audits. One is potential analysis, one is development phase, and one is series production phase. Generally, customers, what they will do a potential analysis and they will club the development phase and series production phase together. So when the yellows are maximum 6 and no reds, remaining are green, then we are known as an approved supplier. These are the 3 broad classification in case of potential analysis. While awarding a contract to a supplier for VDA 6.3, this is how the customers from the European industries give us the rating. So next is on the overview. Basically, VDA classification is being done only based on the grade, that is A, B, or C. This is what they finally say. In VDA, whether you have secured A or B or C classification. What you understand by A is, if your overall score is more than or equal to 90 marks, then it is called as A classification. You are quality capable supplier according to the customer. If you secure between 80 to 90, you are called as conditionally quality capable supplier with a classification of B. If you secure less than 80, you are called as not quality capable. The classification is C. This is the overall results, how the VDA is being assessed upon. So let us go one small step further into it. Grading. This is how the scoring is done. For example, you start from here. Whenever you secure more than or equal to 90, if it is your score is more than 90, then they will check for the 5 downgrading rules. I will tell you what are the downgrading rules. If in all the 5 downgrading rules, your answer is no, then you become a quality capable supplier with grade A, the straight vertical line here. So initially the customer does an audit from P2 to P7. When he does an audit, you secure more than 90, he checks for the 5 downgrading rules. In all the downgrading rules, your answer is to the questions are no, then you become quality capable with grade A. If any one of the questions out of 5, your downgrading is yes, then you become quality capable with grade B. Suppose you are not secured more than 90. If your score is more than 80 and less than 90, if that is the case, then you will be checked for 3 downgrading rules. If the 3 downgrading rules, if you are no to the 3 downgrading rules, then you become conditionally quality capable and grade B supplier. If any one of the 3 questions downgrading, you get it as yes, then you become grade C. If you secure less than 80, directly you go to grade C. So this is where most of the companies falter here. Downgrading is very stringent in VDA 6.3. It is very difficult to qualify to grade A with quality capable. So generally the self-audit, what we call as in IATF internal audit, here in VDA we call it as self-audit. If the self-audit is done very stringent, then in the initial self-audit, we will be securing the grade C. Closing all the points, then we will be elevating to either grade B. So if that is the case, then we will be in a position to qualify in the customer audit. So all depends on the internal self-audit, where it has to be done stringently at least 2 rounds of audit is required. If it is done very stringently, then automatically facing the customer will be very easy. Otherwise, it will be very difficult task because the questions are very straightforward. So let us see the downgrading rules. Suppose I secure I'm a quality capable supplier with grade A. How I'm going to get downgraded? At least one of the process elements. So process elements means project management, series production phase, P2 to P7. If in any one of the process elements, my overall score is 90, but in any one of the process elements, I have secured less than 80, then I have to be downgraded as B. Second thing, if any one of the process sub-element in the sense P6.1, P6.2, individual sub-element, the score is less than 80, then also my grading will come down to B. One of the process step is available only in production phase, P6 alone. So P6.1.1 NPD handover to production. For example, I secured 70 marks. My overall score is more than 90. Everything else I have secured pakka. Then also my grade will be only B because I have been downgraded in this particular aspect. So this is also important. If you secure 4 marks in the risk-based question, you have around 18 risk-based questions. Out of these 18 risk-based questions, if you have secured 4 marks in any one of the risk-based questions, because the rating is 0, 4, 8, 6, 8, 10. So you should always secure in the risk-based question 6 and above. If you secure less than 6, then automatically your downgrading will be to B, even though you secured more than 90 marks. 0 points in any one question, not a risk-based question. Any one of the question, if you have secured 0, totally not compliance, then also it will become a downgrading to B. So out of these 5 elements, if any one downgrading, the answer is yes, then the grading is pulled down from A to B. Similar fashion, the 3 downgraded questions from A to C, how it is. So in any one of the process elements, you get less than 70. There it was less than 80, here it is less than 70. If the answer is yes, then it becomes C grading from A grading. At least one of the process steps having a compliance level of less than 70, then also it becomes C. 0 points for a star-based question. Risk-based questions, if you secure 0 marks, then it becomes the downgrading to C. These are some of the classifications. So thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I'm open to clarify it.
Dear participants, is there any questions to be answered or any doubts are there? You can get it clarified. Hello?
Can we go to the downgrading from
Yes,
A
sir.
to C when you explained?
Yes, sir. Yeah, 1 minute.
When we are getting in one of the questions if 4 or 0, so how is that downgraded done from A to C directly?
Which one, sir? And the last point you want, sir?
Yes, the last one, when you said that from A to C, downgrading it from A to C
Yeah.
directly.
Yes, sir. It is a, see, basically it is a risk-based question, no? We told you, no, 0 points awarded for at least one star-based question. Star-based questions are totally 18 questions. I will show you to the first slide.
Yes, there are
Yeah,
18
one.
questions. But
In 18
when
questions,
yeah,
in 18 questions, if one of the questions your answer is 0, it will not affect your overall, but other areas you're performing well because each has a very sub element. If you take P6 has around 6 sub questions. It is around, for example, P6 has 26 questions. In 26 questions,
how many star questions?
8 are
8 are star
26
questions.
8 are star questions. Out of 8, you secure 0 in 1.
Yeah.
Remaining, you secure good marks.
Yeah.
So overall score will be good for you. But since you have secured 0 in one of the star-based questions, as per the VDA rules, it has to be downgraded to C. The mark will be 90 and above, but they will say as VDA score as only in the terms of A, B, or C, not in terms of marks.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Sir, this is Raghavan from Akasab.
Yes, sir.
Is it mandatory to get VDA certification for being auto supplier? We already have a 8-year certification.
No, sir. It is becoming popular in European markets.
Okay, sir.
Nowadays, for European companies are insisting for VDA certification in most of the industries. For example, MAN. If you go with MAN and all European customer, they insist for a VDA certification because it is trouble-free for them when the mass production comes in, because every 6 months once you need to submit a self-audit report from your side to the customer that we are following systems in true spirit. There should be a VDA auditor inside your factory and he should give a report, and that report they will cross-check and they will have a Teams call and they will confirm with you. So that is the reason it is being made mandatory nowadays.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Sir, is there any other question, sir, please? We are ready to answer.
Sir, VDA 6 point. Sir, I am Vigneshwaran from Premier Foundries.
Yes, sir.
Sir, VDA 6.3 is a requirement for all the foundries or based on the customer?
It is only based on the customer, sir. It is not for all the foundries. It is based on the customer.
Suresh Babu, sir. Sir, 1 minute. Sir, if you want to enter into European market, if you are having a VDA certificate, it is easy for you to enter into the market.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
Gentlemen, is there any other question? Otherwise, we will wind up the session. Shall I take it granted that there are no questions from the audience? Somebody can say yes. Okay. Since there is no answer, I am taking it granted.
Yes,
sir, we sincerely thank Mr. K. Suresh Babu, who was magnanimous enough to accept our invitation to conduct this virtual program in the shortest period of time. In any way, we are highly grateful to you, sir. Thanks, sir. Thank you, sir. You have opened our eyes and see, you told about the requirement of VDA to enter into the European market. I hope this session is like a hand-holding session to understand about the European market entry, or like ISO 9001. This is also one of the requirement. Now, see, it is our regular practice to conduct virtual program on every month, 4th Friday. Next month also, we are going to conduct the program. We are identifying one of the best speaker to talk on the motivational aspects, how we have to motivate the person in a foundry, like that. So we will be declaring, we will be sending the circular regarding this very quickly. Thank you very much for your presence and as well as the listening of the lecture. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dadan sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Suresh Babu, consultant.
Thanks, sir.